this computer. So I'm giving you the right so that you can share your screen.
Okay.
All right, you have the right now.
Thank you. Yeah, good evening, everyone. And I hope you had a productive day like mine and not too stressful like mine. So today we start the conversation on Microsoft Certified Security Security Operations Analyst Associate Certification part, which is SC-200 for people who are focused on maybe being a SOC analyst, being a threat handler, incident responder, and various other, unrelated professions in Microsoft. The focus today will be center more around setting up and getting started. Setting up the test environment for us, and then when we start, for us to actually have the environment where we're going to be testing various things we'll be doing in the program ready. And if time will permit, we just do a few simulations today and also familiarize ourselves with the Defender interface. And next time we come, we start with the platform configuration and then we go on full throttle into the into the session. So I'll go ahead and share my screen now. So please let me know once you're able to see my screen. Please let me know once you're able to see my screen.
Yes, I can.
Okay. And I don't know how we're going to do it, but I really want the class to be interactive because it's easy to get lost if one is not following. If I say something that is not really clear, I think try to draw me back immediately, or you can raise your hand for me to clarify. And like I mentioned, the focus today is for us to actually get started and get set up. So I'll expect that individual of us would also be following me as I am doing some of the configurations that we need to do to get the environment ready. And one thing I've refrained from doing is actually creating any environment ahead of this meeting. I want it to be as interactive as possible. And I also do not want to do anything that I'll just have to explain with word of mouth that you may not necessarily get. So basically, the environment we are going to be using, we'll set it up together. And I think that should help everyone. For the benefit of people who are not on the call on Saturday, we said we'll be touching on different security certification from Microsoft, and the idea is for us to start first with SC-200. Bami, you can go ahead.
Okay, good evening. So, because you said we're going to have to set up the environment alongside with yourself.
Yeah.
I'm not sure because I'm aware if we have the trial version, even if it is pay as you go, and
Yeah.
we leave our resources on, that will incur some what is it called? Credit subscription, yes.
Yeah.
So what do you suggest?
All of us are going to sign up for a trial, so you don't need to make a commitment or have to pay for anything. And yeah, you don't need to make a subscription or you pay for anything. Basically, you don't need to make any payment, and you're able to get the trial for let's say 3 months. I think you're able to get it for 3 months, which is more than the time we need for us to actually complete this course. Wale, you can go ahead.
Yeah, you come in. Thanks. What I would suggest, because you would, again, thankfully we are recording this session.
Yeah.
What it means is that if Ayokumi follows the process of registering your subscription and setting up the environment, there's chance that you can rewatch it and then come to speed with what it's doing since it is recorded. Because what I'm looking at is time and getting us to do as much as possible with the time we have, and also uploading the video on link and in YouTube. So while we would have some interaction, which is if a process is not clear, you can call Ayokumi's attention to that point. But you may not be able to follow him as he's going if you have not already done the subscription. So my suggestion is let him complete the process of subscribing and setting up the environment. Then we can follow him when we want to practice it on our own, watching the video.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, I'll come over to you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Thank you once again, yeah, Bami, for the question. So yeah, in terms of the course content, basically this is what we had to cover as part of the this course. First is how to use and mitigate threats using Microsoft Defender. We'll get to see how to mitigate threats using Microsoft Security Copilot.
Ayokumi, sorry for
Yep.
interruption. Maybe
Okay.
from time to time, you can be checking people who want to join.
In the lobby.
Some people,
Yeah.
some people chatting. All right, sorry for the interruption.
Is it possible for someone else to do it? Is there a way for someone else to be given that right?
Okay, except if I can, except if I make multiple people to share their screen, then I should get the right back.
Okay.
I think you should carry on. You should carry on if you have
Okay. I
accepted
don't
this.
think anyone is in the lobby.
No, nobody's in lobby. If anybody chats me, I will
Okay.
I will chat you, but you can carry on. I'll chat you, and once you're on break, you can add them.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. So we'll be covering everything we have highlighted here according to Microsoft documentation. Okay, I've spoken about the first two. The second one is to using Microsoft Purview, mitigating threats using Microsoft Defender for endpoints, which is more like the antivirus, which is a Microsoft antivirus as part of the Defender. Mitigating threats using Defender for cloud. How to write queries to actually look for events from the logs. How to configure Microsoft Sentinel environment, more like the SIEM, and how to connect logs to Microsoft Sentinel, how to create detections and perform investigation using Microsoft Sentinel, and how to do threat hunting using Microsoft Sentinel. And just like Microsoft, will start with using the what's it called? We'll start using the Defender and then the XDR of it basically. I'll come back to this diagram to actually do some explanation, but before then, I want us to first of all set up our environment. If you are interested in actually looking at for people who are not just learning it for mastery, but for them also to be able to write a certification and all the certification, which is one way of actually ensuring that you also get, I think when you write a certification, it's a proof of your knowledge. So if you are interested in writing the certification as a proof of knowledge, also to evidence to potential employer, you might actually be interested in Microsoft Study Guide, which actually details everything that it's tested for in the exam and also to guide your study. So you have that here. I think I'll drop the link maybe after this meeting. And you see, this is the skill that will be measured. And for the changes also that have happened to the exam, you can see it here for the study resources that you can use. You can see it here as well. And for some of the updates to the exam, you can see it here. But most importantly, the skills that are measured. For the skills that are measured, you see rapidly remediating active attack in cloud and on-premise environments. When there is an active attack that has been picked up by Defender, how do you quickly remediate it before actually impacting maybe more people in the organization? How do you, when incidents happen, it is not just for you to solve it. One of the things that you also need to do as part of the incident handling is what mitigation or control can you put in place to actually ensure that such thing do not happen again or repeat itself. So advising on improvement to threat protection practices, identifying violations of organization policy. If your organizations have security policies, there are also ways of actually monitoring the environment and see that, oh, when that policy is being breached, you get alerted to it. And if whoever is responsible, whoever is culpable, if they need to be sanctioned, or if there is something else that needs to be done, maybe for instance, just user education or awareness, all of those can be done. And basically, you see the things that you need to learn as part of using Microsoft technology, the Defender, and Sentinel for this is for you to be able to triage issues, respond to incidents, mitigate risks using exposure management, hunt for threats. If there are threats within your environment, how to hunt for them and also kill them using the cyber kill chain. And then using the KQL for reporting, detection, and investigation. And basically, these are some of the solutions that we will be interacting with. Microsoft expects as part of this exercise or as part of your learning to already have some foundation in Microsoft 365. I know that we had a conversation on Saturday whether someone should go and do AZ-900 or SC-900 first before coming to SC-200. I'll recommend that for as many people as are able to do that, and especially if you are not familiar with Office 365 or Microsoft 365 before, that you try as much as possible to try your hands on that. You can easily search online. You can easily search online for SC 900, for instance. Sorry, I typed in SC 900, and that should gives you basis of the fundamental. What this does is actually to give you an overview of different offerings within the Microsoft security, and also explain some of the security concepts that someone needs to understand to be able to appreciate the next level of courses, which includes SC SC-200. And you can see, first of all, Microsoft wants us to learn about manage a security operation environment, starting with a configure setting in Microsoft Defender XDR, how to configure alert and vulnerability notification rules, configure Microsoft Defender for endpoint advanced features, configure endpoint rule settings, manage automated investigation and response capability, and configure automatic attack disruption using Defender XDR, how to manage assets and the environment, how to configure a Microsoft Sentinel workplace, how to get data. I already mentioned that Sentinel is SIEM, how to ingest data into SIEM from different log sources, which may include other system of interest which are not even in Microsoft. How to configure protection and detection, and several other things, incident response, managing security threats, and then you have the different resource here that you can use. Now, enough about just what I know majority of us would just want to get to action. Basically, how do you set up your Microsoft Defender XDR trial in lab environments? The easiest way to get the trial is just to go and sign up for Microsoft E5 trial tenant. If you have a Microsoft 365 E5 license, it already includes a lot of functionalities, including Defender. So basically, for us to get started, all we need to do is actually just head to just sign into Microsoft, sign up for a trial of Microsoft 365. And for people asking about how much it's going to cost, you can see how much it's going to cost here. If it's without Teams, it's about 32 pounds. I mean 32.10 pounds per month. And in a year, that can easily become too much for some of us. But I mean, good thing is that we can always start from a trial. I'm going to drop this link on the chat for some of us who want to follow along with me as I do the who want to follow along as I do the configuration. So first of all, we have to sign up for Office 365 E5 trial. Actually, I'm going to sign up for Microsoft 365. You can disregard the one I just sent. Microsoft 365 E5. Okay, so this is the just a moment. Okay, I think we can use the first one. Yep. I'm trying to see the best way for us to actually get the trial without having to contact sales or anything. So we can sign up for Just a moment. So we can sign up for the Office 365 trial, and you can just, using the link I already shared, just click on try for free. You are asked some basic information. Microsoft just wants to confirm that I am human and not a robot. Match the number of rocks with the number on the left. Okay, this is 4 1 2 3 4 5 2 1 2 3 5 4. Okay, they just, I mean, whatever you are presented here, you can always select anything that, I mean, whatever is appropriate for you. For me, I just needed to have 4 rocks here that equals the number that I have here, and I'm clicking on submit. You still want me to do it again? I should mark it against to the number of rocks should match to, okay, I have this submitted. 5. Okay. 4, 5. Submit. I still have to do this 2 more times. 4 1 5 rocks. Submit. And I believe the last one. Okay, yeah, that's 2. Submit. So verification is completed, and it's asking me for my email. Just because I know this is being recorded, I don't want to use my personal email. So I created just an account now for me to be able to test it, and I'm just going to put that in the chat, and then I click next. Now it's asking me to set up my looks like you need to create a new account. Let's get started. I'm clicking on set up a new account, and it's asking me for my name. I'm just going to put my name as SC-200, and my surname as just certification. I mean, for you, you probably just want to put your name. It's because this is public, and I don't want my my details in public domain. That's why, in fact, I can actually put this as CSMG. CSMG. I can just leave my first name here. I'm going to put this as CSMG still. Company size, I'll just say 50 to 200. Phone number, okay, 047438272373. I can call myself a technical, okay, let's say technology manager. And you can put maybe whatever address. My address is just going to be Victoria Island. I'm going to call the town Lagos. Optional county if you have one. I believe this should be for it will populate the country you are by default, but I actually just, in fact, okay, let me leave the country as United Kingdom, and let me put this I mean, it's a non-postcode but not my house address anyway. just to say, how does your company have a website? I'm just going to say no. I'll just say, do you want Microsoft to share my details with selected partner? No, they don't need to. And I'll click on next. So it's saying it will need to send me a verification code, which is fine. It can send it to me. Send me a verification code. We are having trouble sending verification code. I think they already know my number because I actually use that number to do so many subscriptions. What I'm going to do, I need to put another number, but I'll take this off screen just for me to do the verification. I just stop sharing screen briefly, just for me to do the verification here. I don't want to put my details there. But after that, if anybody have any question that they want to ask, please go ahead and ask the question. And basically, once you're able to sign up, you're supposed to have a license down here. Currently, you see that I have a different license. I have business basic, and different licenses. But I think all of these licenses currently, none of them confers the right for me to actually use Defender. Security.microsoft.com. So basically to get to Defender portal,
Sorry to interrupt you. We can't see the address when you're typing.
you can't see the address when I'm typing.
Yes.
Okay. I think it's because I'm sharing. Let me share the whole screen. Let me know when you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. So this is the Defender, Microsoft Defender, and here you actually could see Sentinel, threat management, content management, configuration, email and collaboration. You see exposure management, attack surface. You see incidents and alerts. And currently under incidents and alerts, you see email and collaboration alerts. I don't see the full Defender information just because the licenses that I have do not currently support that. So for someone that already have maybe some sort of environment and just interested in getting additional functionality, they can go to the marketplace or products, and from here I'm going to look for EMS 5. That's because I already have some license and I'm just interested in getting the security license that allow me to be able to use Defender.
So what you are saying basically is that if you subscribe
Yep.
using the basic profile, there are
Yeah.
some features that will not be present.
There are some features that will not be present. So let me just clarify this way. For as many as are able to use Microsoft 365 E5, it already includes Defender. If you do not have that, but have some other license, you can subscribe for EMS. So EMS has the also includes Microsoft Defender, and sometimes people can just pick it. You can also look for Defender for Endpoint, Defender for Office, and different ones. But just for you to have everything that we need for this course, sign up for EMS E5. Yeah, I can see here enterprise mobility and security, which is the EMS E5, and you see trials available. So I'm going to go ahead and click on details, and it will ask me which one. I'm just selecting trial. While selecting trial, it's asking me for how I want to pay, if I want to pay monthly or if I want to pay yearly. But I've already said I want to pay monthly. And you, by default, when you subscribe, it will give you 25 license, which is okay for me. And because I have my card already on this platform, it's not asking me to put card details, but for most people it will ask them to put card details. So for now, I'm going to leave this as yes, that you renew to a paid subscription when it expire, and I'm leaving this as 1. One mistake I don't like making, if you leave this on 1 year, you may not be able to stop the subscription. So I'm just going to leave it as 1 month, and then I'll say place another.
So by the way,
So,
this is a dummy order, right?
sorry?
This is like a dummy order in terms of it doesn't mean that you're going to be debited.
No, I'm not going to be debited. You can see this is trial, but if the trial ends and I don't stop it, my card may be debited. So I have to stop it before I'm debited. So in addition to what I've done, I've just signed up for EMS. What I normally do is to come to the subscription itself, and you see edit trial. You see that initially when I sign up, I could only do 1 month trial. As you can see, today is 10th, and it's saying that by 10th, I mean by 10th of May, it will change to paid subscription. But you also see expiration date, and I can extend trial. So I'm just going to click on extend trial. And you see it says that I can extend trial once for 30 days. So this is okay for me, and this gives me 2 months. So normally before the 2 months expires, if I want to extend the trial, I'll just tell their support. I'll message their support and tell their support that I still want to extend the trial. They are able to do 1 month trial extension for me again, and that gives me a total trial period of 3 months. So I'm waiting for the trial to reflect, and after that, yes. The subscription is active. The trial extension is still showing 10th of May, but you can see here that it says that there's a pending transaction on description subscription and will be completed in a couple of minutes. So in order not to waste time, I'm just going to move away from here, where I'll come back later after this call to actually come and regularize this, so that okay, it's just adjusted, so I don't want to be billed. I'm just going to you see edit recurring billing. I'm just going to turn this off so that if I forget, I don't get billed. So if you have also enlisted your card, just ensure that you turn recurring billing off after you have already extended your trial. Now I'll
I
go
mean,
back. Yep.
would Nigerian card work?
I believe Nigeria card should work. Maybe not Nigerian Naira card. For people that have done card, it should work. Your PayPal card should also work for people that have it. But I've never really tried
But
Nigerian.
GT Bank Nigerian GT Bank card should work.
Hopefully it should, but
Okay.
I can't really comment on
Anyway,
that.
anyone on the call can try and
Yeah.
just contact me so that we can put that contest into consideration. All right.
Okay. So this is still looking very basic. Not the full information that I should see. So I would have to, yeah, okay. I think it has adjusted. Initially when I started and I was under EA, if you look at investigate and response and you look under alert, okay, it's still the same. I'm seeing email and collaboration alone. So I'm going to have to sign out and then I'll sign in again. Sorry, I also stopped sharing for a few minutes because I don't want the details of the credential I'm using to also be shown. Signed in. I've signed out and signed in, but it's not yet. Yeah, okay. So it's not yet reflecting the full information that I should have, that I believe I should have. So we may just need to wait for few more minutes for things to actually pick up. But as you can see, we already have Sentinel here, and then we can do some. Okay, so it's still also not usable because the license has not reflected.
So, what are the products that should come with that subscription of EMS 5? Oh, sorry, EMS.
Yeah, for Microsoft licensing, because it can be very complex, sort of sometimes. I always use this M365 map to map all of the licenses out. And if you look at feature matrix, I'm just going to unselect all. What I have subscribed to now is EMS. Okay, we don't have directly here, but I'm just going to pick E5 security. If you go to the security, under the features, you see office, and then you see enterprise mobility and security. This is what I just subscribed to. And under it, if you look at different things, what we are interested in at this time is Defender. You see Defender for cloud apps. You see Defender for identity. You also see some other Defender, like for the endpoint. Okay, yeah. So you basically see the Defenders there, and Defenders is the major thing for us for this course. Okay, I wasn't expecting you to take this.
Usually under the exposure management, you should have dashboard, security recommendation, inventory, and some
Yeah,
other tabs.
exactly. You have like the attack surface and everything. Um, so this is still showing all of this error because I think the license I've subscribed
Has
to
not taken effect.
has not taken effect. And that's why it's talking about Defender trial here again. Okay. I've signed out, I've signed in. I think what I can do, just myself, I can't service.
Maybe you want to refresh first.
I've done refresh several times. Okay, I think while things are getting set up in the background, we can continue to talk about the program itself, and then maybe hopefully before we before we finish, we hopefully the environment would already have been properly set up, and then we'll be ready to make use of it. Yep. I've already spoken about the exam guide and what the expectation is regarding the course. Now, about the Microsoft XDR, Defender for XDR is actually many things. Normally, when an organization suffer an attack, it's usually maybe from starting externally, maybe from an external threat actor, or maybe even sometimes from inside the organization. So the Microsoft Defender actually have different configurable suits that when used properly can capture and can capture and also remediate attack at any stage or at any point in the attack circle itself. If you look at a typical attack scenario, a lot of time we get sensitized into saying, oh, before you click on a link, read carefully, suspect every email, because email has been regarded as a vector. We also have some site that people will tell you not to browse to, because easily you can have maybe a malware on the site. If the site is already infected with a malware, people going to that site can easily download a malware or interact with a malware that get downloaded to their system, and that can also start a cybersecurity incident. So basically, Microsoft Defender, as part of the Defender suite, you have Microsoft Defender for Office 365, which actually check emails. If email contains information like maybe you see it as a fish, it can be reported. And when email is being received, Microsoft also scan the email for maybe suspicious attachment or maybe a suspicious link. And Microsoft Defender for Office is actually able to block it and also remediate issues that has to do with maybe sites that people actually go through. We also know that some people may also just bring a foreign USB device and plug it to their system, and that may also start some sort of attack. And it's also possible that maybe for whatever reason there has been some other method. Maybe someone through a network share, for instance, someone was able to deposit maybe a malicious file or maybe a malware or trojanous, for instance, on someone's devices. Microsoft also have another solution called Defender for Endpoint, which actually do protection. It does protection for things like laptop, things like servers, things like mobile devices. And with that also, it provides security for those devices. And if, for instance, Microsoft says that there is a suspicious behavior around maybe activities on a system, or maybe the system is connecting to a remote location that is known for command and control. Connected to maybe a station or an IP address that is known to actually be involved in attack. Microsoft can always quarantine the system and also mark it as risky, preventing the system from infecting other system on the network. There is also Defender for Identity. If you look at different attacks, you see that at the heart of the attack, access is always involved, and access is something that always has to do with identity, maybe a user basically. If Microsoft also has a solution called Microsoft Defender for Identity, which actually focus on looking at suspicious activities around users identity, system identity, and maybe workload identity. By workload identity, I mean service accounts. And based on whatever information, and you can even see for Defender for Identity, for instance, you can see Microsoft can use Defender for Identity to actually detect if an account is compromised. For instance, if you have a user that is logging in 1 minute from the UK, and in the second minute, you notice that the user account is logging on from South Africa. It is impractical for someone that is in the UK to be logging in from South Africa at the same time. So that will constitute a suspicious behavior. So when Microsoft actually look at suspicious behavior like that, they can raise it as a flag and possibly also put the user identity in a quarantine until someone actually look at it and say that, oh, the account is fine, or maybe those activity are legit. But in real sense, it doesn't make sense that someone is logging in from 2 or 3 different countries within just a short time frame, 5 minutes, for instance. It's impractical. So when you also see an account that logs in, maybe from one system, and in another minute, it's also logging in from another system, and you see one single account logging in from 4, 5 system, and that account is not a service account, that may also signal that there is something suspicious about that account. And most time when an attack occurs, one of the things that the attacker always do is actually to move laterally across the network until they get to one of the system or the information system that houses maybe sensitive information that is of interest to them and also to the organization they are trying to breach. So when you then begin to see accounts that is being used repeatedly on multiple systems, it may also signal an attacker's attempt to move laterally across the network. And if Microsoft Defender for Identity also picks something like that up, it reports it. And also, a lot of time when an attacker actually breach a network, they always have one goal in mind. It's either to inflict damage or possibly also for them to um either to inflict damage or maybe for monetary gain. For to inflict damage or maybe monetary gain, a lot of time you see the ransomware involved, or maybe the exfiltration or the copying out of sensitive data. The copying out of sensitive data from the copying out of sensitive data from the organization system. So Defender for Cloud Apps is actually used by Microsoft to actually see what is being taken out of the environment. So if an account, for instance, or maybe you see data being taken out of an organization system and being sent to maybe an IP address or a system or a domain, for instance, that is known for I mean that is known to be of high risk. Basically, Defender for Cloud App can actually look at that, alert you, and possibly also block the attempt to take data out of the environment if you have that already configured. So basically, for external threats, you see Defender for Office 365, you see Defender for Endpoint, you see Defender for Identity, and you see Defender for Cloud Apps. And also, if you look at the internal threats as well, you have indicators that Microsoft also may use across each of these. Basically, you have the Sentinel that covers the insider risks, monitoring what people are doing, logging their events, and maybe when a pattern is established that suggests that someone is repeatedly violating maybe policies. Maybe in an instance, you see that people should not be able to copy something to their hard drive, and you see someone repeatedly copying something to an hard drive, or maybe you see someone reportedly uploading data to Google Drive, which is personal. These are some of the violations that you can actually Microsoft can also use to actually profile insider risks for an organization. When you have insider threats, which may be someone with history of violation, distracted and careless, or maybe someone disgruntled or disenchanted, people that have reasons to wanting to do something harmful to the organization, you can also do some sentinel query around them to actually alert you when they do something malicious that you already expect. And also you have the Microsoft Purview Insider Risks, which actually look at data leakage. A lot of organizations today, especially in the, let's say in the telecommunication sector, Nigeria currently today, you see that a lot of them don't have I mean, Nigerians don't have a centralized data. And if you really want to find anybody in Nigeria today, one of the good ways to actually find them is maybe go through their banks or probably going through their telecom provider. And if you have certain people that have maybe friends or families working in those areas, you'll see that those people can actually just go and meet them and ask them to provide certain data, which may actually infringe on the rights of this data owner, the person whose data they are actually checking without necessary authorization and approval. So the Microsoft Purview Insider Risk Management also helps organizations to actually monitor data leakage and fight insider risks in terms of how access and how data is taken out outside of the organization. I want to believe that it is ready. Okay, it's still the same.
Can you check the license page and see whether it's reflecting?
The license has reflected. I've been able to assign the license to myself. This is a license page. You can see 24 available. I've already assigned one to myself. I think it's just taking time
Sorry,
to.
I'm seeing something on. If you go back to the page you're coming from,
Yep.
there's a request. So it's not pertaining to. There's something after. So yeah.
This one that it doesn't have anything to do
Okay.
with just Power Apps.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so Microsoft Defender basically have different tools, and the enclave all of those components, it's what is the Defender XDR. So basically each one of them, if the license were to apply, and basically if I come under under incident and alert, I should actually be able to see more. It's not just email and collaboration. I should be able to see incidents. I should be able to see alerts, basically, and not just email and collaboration alert. I have this email and collaboration alert only just because the license I have initially covers for a Defender for Office, and that's why I have this email and collaboration alerts. I judge that maybe it's best for us to probably just allow this to take effect before we continue. Wally, I'm not sure, but I think it might make sense for us to actually just
Did I
allow
post?
the environment to set up. I mean, to be fully set up before we continue, so that I don't talk vaguely.